Welcome to We Sometimes RV with Scott and Joy. Thank you for watching our videos. Have a great day. Okay, being the patient man that I am, I decided to present my problem to a Facebook group for Jayco owners that I belong to, and I got more answers. But as you can see down at the bottom, hopefully, the line coming in, the elbow is hitting against the bottom of the housing. So I'm going to cut that and trim that off, and you can follow right along. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to cut the line over here. Then I'm going to unscrew the fitting so that I can take this clamp off and then readjust this line so that it is more easily closer to the outside of the coach, and gets it away from the housing of the water filter. Okay, we've got it cut. I'm going to unscrew it from the housing. I still might cut a little bit more off of that. After watching a few videos, I noticed that on this PEX pipe, that this fitting right here, you should be able to remove it by twisting it off of this clamp and then take the whole thing off. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. We'll try that now. Well, I used a little bit of an unorthodox method. I have these cutters that are antique, and what I did is I caught them on the crimped area here, and then I caught that in the vise to cut it off. Now, if I had to leave the line in place, that would have been very difficult to try to get that off of there. So let's get the PEX off of here. Okay, not so easy. I'm gonna have to cut it. Well, in the process of removing the one piece of hose that was left on there of PEX, I ended up trying to cut through the PEX, and I cut a little bit through the fitting. So I had to take the other fitting off, the other clamp. I removed it, and then I pulled the complete fitting out. I've got a new shark bite fitting that I'm going to put in there in place of this. This is actually the first time I'm going to use this PEX tool. I've never really worked with PEX before. I do want to make sure that I put the elbow on correctly. This is going to go this way, I want to be able to access see, that's another thing that's really strange, is it's got the valve pushing up against the housing as well. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to cut this clamp off. I'm going to turn this around so that it faces the housing and that the valve is facing away from the housing. Make sense? Hope so. We'll try it. I'll be back shortly. I've returned and I'm in the process of putting the fitting back on and getting it lined up so that the valve is facing away from the filter housing. So I've got that in there. I'm going to use a crimping tool to crimp it in place. I apologize for the video. I had some issues, and that's why I'm having to dub the sound in right now. I got it crimped in place, and that way the fitting goes on the filter housing, the valve is away from the filter housing, and then I'm going to have the elbow at the bottom is going to be away from the filter housing as well. And I'm going to install that, and I'm showing that the valve, when it is turned parallel with the hose, the valve is on. The water is flowing. When it's turned crossways from the hose, then the water is off. Okay, I've got the elbow in place, positioned the way that I want it to. I'm going to clamp it down with the PEX tool, get that in place, and the next step is going to be to put it back on and test it out. Okay, putting this in place, it looks like I can cut probably another ½ inch off that line coming in to make sure that this stays away from the water filter housing. Okay, I cheated. I took the drawer out. Okay, took a little persuasion there, but I think I got it on well. There's only one way to find out, and to do that, I'm going to turn this valve off. I'm going to go outside, disconnect the water. Connect the water. And then come back in and make sure it's not leaking, hopefully. Keep an eye on it. Scream at me if it's leaking. Well, is it leaking? Everything's dry here. Dry, well, it's going to be dry on the other side of the valve because I don't have the valve open. That's a good thing because I didn't finish tightening this fitting. Okay, so let me put the new filter in place. Okay, hopefully this goes on a whole lot easier. Absolutely easier. No fussing, no fighting, no aggravation. Okay, let's make sure that this fitting doesn't leak. Looking good so far. I'm going to open up one of the faucets, let the water drain a little bit. Well, the water coming in. I have on the cheap water pressure valve. And I don't have the water completely turned on just yet. Not until I feel secure that nothing is dripping. Everything is tight. It's looking good. So let's go turn the water on full. Y'all keep an eye on it for a minute, will you? Well, that's the kind of water pressure you can expect, 40 psi. So we're looking good. No leaks. Now I'm going to work on the cabinet door, trying to figure out a way to make that come in. I also had help from the Jayco group that I belong to. There we go. And some air out of the line. One last thing before I go. If you notice from my previous video, which I'm going to link above, I don't have new skin with me, but I do have a band-aid because I cut something. That's normal. Have a great day. I took a quick trip to Lowe's to determine what I was going to use to hold the door in place. After some really good information that I got from the Jayco owners group that I belong to, I'm going to use cabinet hinges on the bottom. And then I'm trying to decide whether to use a cabinet style magnet. I need to see how it's going to fit. One like this. And I actually may end up putting two of them and then put the plates on here. I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to screw these in place, get my measurements, make sure they're equal distance apart, and screw them in place. And then I'm going to attach the magnets to I was about to say it was not a very strong magnet, but it is. I'm going to attach the magnets, and I've decided not to put a door handle because we passed next to that to get into the bed, and that door handle would end up catching. You'd end up hurting yourself or breaking the cabinet door, so I'm going to leave that off. I'm going to shut the camera down for a minute while I get my measurements and get everything marked, and then we'll put it in place. Just to let you know, what I decided to do, I did put the hinges down here. They're not mounted in place yet. But then I used the regular screws and screwed this back in to be able to hold it to mount the hinges at the bottom. Well, I'm a little OCD, and as you can tell, it's not level. So I'm going to bring this to level, and then I'll screw the hinges in. Okay, the hinges are screwed in place. They're actually spring-loaded hinges, so it does go up. I don't think it would come down, but I'm going to install those magnets anyway, just in case. I'll probably just install one in the center. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, we've got the completed project. I'm trying to show the light where it shows everything. The hinges are at the bottom, one on each side. And we'll pull this down. There's the magnet. Decided just to put one in the middle. And then the plate is attached to the door right there. When it goes up, it holds pretty well. It looks like it's unlevel, but evidently the cabinet is unlevel because the door is level. Also, I wanted to point out from my last video, these are the Jayco electrical connections. I really like using these when wiring. And no leaks, everything's good. Thanks for watching. One thing I want to remind people of, and I do this all the time, when I leave, I had to make a trip to Lowe's, I turn off the water because I don't want to come back to a coach that's full of water. It's one thing to be here and to have the water leaking, but when you're not here and it starts to leak, it could cause serious issues. So please turn your water off when you leave. Make sure your hot water tank is off, and then you can turn it back on when you get back. And please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we have new videos coming out. Leave your comments below, and please be sure to smash that like button. Thank you.
Thank you for watching our video. Please click on the subscribe button, click the bell so you get notified when we have new videos coming out. Leave your comments below, and please smash that like button. Thanks, and have a great day.